My name is Lilith. From the dawn of time, I've been here, moving through the ages, living for countless years. And yes, I am tired of mankind. I slip in and out of women's minds, bodies, and souls, seeking pleasures, feeding on their desires and pains. When I have taken what I need from the power of a man, I move on to the next. Some call me a whore. Others call me a Jezebel. But I am none of those things. I am simply a woman who was hurt, a soul shaped by betrayal and rejection. I am here to tell my story, the truth about who I am and why I exist. This is my voice, raw, unfiltered, and ready to be heard. Wasn't always this way. There was a time when I loved, when I trusted, when I gave everything I was to another. But love can destroy as much as it can create. And when I was broken, cast aside, I learned to take back my power. Not with kindness, not with submission, but with fire, with hunger. The first time I felt it, the surge of control, the rush of consuming another's essence, I realized I could never go back. They think they own us. They think they can tame us. But I became untamable. I became everything they feared and everything they desired. And so I began to move. Through time, through lives, through souls. Women welcomed me, some knowingly, others unknowingly. I gave them strength where they felt weak. I gave them pleasure where there was pain. But always, I left my mark. Men, they were different. They thought they could control me. Oh, how they tried. Sweet words, rough hands, promises of forever. But none of it mattered. I took what I needed, their power, their fire, their very essence, and I left them hollow. And still they whisper my name. Lilith the fallen. Lilith the temptress. Lilith the unholy. But they don't understand. I am not evil. I am not good. I am simply free. Free to take, free to give, free to be everything they told me I couldn't be. But even now, I feel the weight of eternity. Moving from one life to the next, one soul to another. It's exhausting. Sometimes I wonder if there's more. If the fire within me could ever burn for something greater than vengeance or pleasure. But then I remember the pain. I remember how it all began. And I remind myself, this is who I am. There was a time when I ruled a kingdom without ever wearing its crown. They called me Lilith the beautiful, Lilith the divine. My beauty was a weapon I never asked for, but one I wielded with ease. Men fell to their knees at the sight of me. Women either worshipped or envied me. I never sought their adoration. It simply was. The kingdom was vast, a paradise carved from golden sands and marble pillars, ruled by a king whose heart I never meant to steal. He was powerful, cunning, and cruel to all but me. I did not love him. I pitied him. But he loved me in the way a man loves a treasure he fears losing. I thought myself safe under his protection. How wrong I was. The whispers began as soon as I stepped foot in the palace. Women gossiped behind jeweled veils, men exchanged knowing glances. They claimed my beauty was unnatural, a curse upon the kingdom. Some said I bewitched the king, that my very presence weakened his judgment. Others murmured that I was not human at all but a demon, sent to seduce and destroy. At first, I laughed at their foolishness. Let them talk. Their words could not harm me. Or so I thought. One night, during a grand feast, a noble woman, a priestess of high standing, rose from her seat. Her voice was honeyed but laced with venom. "O great king, have you not seen the ruin she brings? Crops wither under her gaze. The men of your court can think of nothing but her. Even the gods have turned their faces from us. She is a blight, a shadow in a golden disguise. She must be cast out." The hall erupted in chaos. Some defended me. Others joined the priestess's call. The king silenced them with a wave of his hand. His love for me held strong, but I saw the doubt flicker in his eyes. That night, I wandered the gardens, my mind heavy with their accusations. And that's when they came for me. A mob, torches in hand, their faces twisted with fear and rage. They screamed curses, called me a demon, a witch. My beauty, once their source of worship, had become my curse. I could have fled. I could have pleaded for mercy. But I am Lilith. I do not beg. Instead, I stood tall as they encircled me. Their torches lit the night. Their shadows danced like wraiths. And then, something deep within me awakened. I spoke no words, but the air grew heavy, the flames flickered, and the mob hesitated. The rage in their eyes turned to terror. They dropped their torches, their weapons, and fell to their knees. I did not harm them. I didn't need to. My presence alone reminded them of the power they could never control. When the king arrived, he found me standing among his trembling subjects. His love for me warred with the fear in his heart. He could not bear to lose me, but neither could he deny what he had seen. I left the kingdom that night, not as a fugitive, but as a legend. They would remember Lilith the beautiful, the untouchable, the divine. And though they tried to kill me, they only succeeded in setting me free. As I left the palace gates, the cold night wrapped around me, yet I felt no chill. My steps were steady, my heart unbroken. The people who once adored me now feared me, and I had learned a harsh truth. Beauty is a fleeting gift, but power, that is eternal. The desert stretched before me, vast and unyielding. With each step, I shed the weight of that kingdom's lies. The king, his court, the jealous priestess, they were nothing but memories now. But memories have a way of lingering, whispering in the dark corners of the soul. I wandered for days, the sun burning my skin, the wind howling in my ears. But I was not alone. The power within me, the one I had felt awaken that night, pulsed like a second heartbeat. It guided me, fed me, kept me alive when I should have perished. I came upon an oasis, a hidden gem in the endless sands. A small village thrived there, its people humble and kind. They took me in without question, offering food, water, and shelter. They did not see a demon or a witch. To them, I was simply a traveler in need. For a time I knew peace. I helped in the fields, taught their children, and even laughed, a sound I had almost forgotten. But peace, I have learned, is always temporary. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of fire, a stranger arrived at the village. He was a merchant, his caravan laden with silks and spices. But his eyes lingered on me longer than they should have. "Who is she?" he asked the village elder, his tone filled with curiosity and something darker. "She is Lila," the elder said, a name I had given to hide my past. "A wanderer who has brought us much joy." The merchant's eyes narrowed. He had heard of me, though not by that name. News of my departure from the king's court had spread far and wide, distorted with every retelling. I could see the recognition spark in his gaze, and I knew my peace was over. That night, the merchant spoke to the villagers, weaving tales of my supposed crimes. He spoke of curses and witchcraft, of kingdoms brought to ruin by my beauty. Fear is a powerful seed, and it grew quickly in the hearts of those who had welcomed me. By dawn the village turned against me. They begged me to leave, their voices trembling with sorrow and fear. I saw the same desperation in their eyes that I had seen in the mob at the palace. I did not wait for them to act. I left the oasis as quietly as I had come, the sand swallowing my footprints. But as I walked away, I whispered a silent promise. They would remember me, not as a villain, but as the force they could never truly understand. Years passed and the world moved on. The kingdom I had left fell to war, its once great palace reduced to ruins. The village I had called home became nothing more than a ghost story, a cautionary tale about a woman too beautiful to be trusted. But I remained untouched by time, unbroken by their fears. My story is one of countless others, a reminder that mankind's greatest enemy is often its own ignorance. They call me many things, which demon goddess. But in truth, I am none of those. I am simply Lilith, eternal, unyielding, and free. Jeremy Tubbs is a remarkable author, celebrated for his bold, imaginative storytelling and his ability to weave complex, unforgettable characters into rich, multi-layered plots. His work transcends genres, pulling readers into worlds that provoke thought, ignite passion, and leave a lasting impression. This book is a must-read for anyone seeking a gripping tale of power and manipulation, written by an author who is quickly establishing himself as a literary force. Available now on Google Play and Amazon. You can purchase or download Lilith today and immerse yourself in the brilliance of Jeremy Tubbs. Jeremy Tubbs explores the complex dynamics of power, desire, and the human psyche through a story that delves into the darker, more mysterious aspects of human nature. Tubbs, an author deeply interested in examining the forces that drive individuals to betray, desire, and self-destruct, uses this narrative to investigate the eternal battle between love and lust, creation and destruction. In this gripping tale, the protagonist is an ancient supernatural entity, an ageless, seductive force who manipulates the lives of both men and women. Through her influence, the story explores how unchecked desire and the temptation of power can shape the destinies of those who fall under her sway. As she seduces, corrupts, and dismantles relationships, families, and identities, she serves as a reflection of the dangerous consequences that come with losing oneself to desire. If you like this book, you can get it on Google Store, and on Amazon follow Jeremy Tubbs.